Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Ella Berries Africa. In our today's tutorial, we're going to be learning how to make this trendy, stylish front slitted blouse and continuously. If this is what you want, please stay tuned to the end. Thank you. Guys, without wasting much of our time, we are just going to go ahead to today's video, and our equipment that we're going to be using is just the tape, the ruler, sorry, the tools, our ruler, our ridgeline boning, our scissors, our chalk, and of course the fabric. We are not going to be using a pattern for this. We can actually mark it directly on the fabric. Now the required measurements are just our bust sample of 38, shoulder of 16, hip of 42, waist of 33, length of 22. So because I don't want to waste our time, I went ahead and marked out a starting line. I marked out a starting line just like this. Next, from that starting line, I'm going to mark out my point, my vertical point. I folded my fabric in two before marking the starting line. So I'm going to mark out my point. So shoulder to armhole is 8. Shoulder to armhole is 8. Shoulder to bust is 11. You can use 10, whichever. Then shoulder to waist is 15. I'm using 15. Shoulder to waist 15. You can use 15. You can use 15.5. Then the length, the fabric is just equal to my length. Then the length is 22. I added 1 inch. Look at it, guys. I added 1 inch to it, to that 22. So we'll go ahead and work on our rounds now. Now the shoulder round is 16. We are dividing by 2. If we divide by 2, we are going to get 8. You mark your 8. You mark your 8. So you extend the line. You extend that line to get your 8. Yes. So let's extend these lines. Let's extend the lines. Using our ruler, let's mark it down. Yeah, good. So our neck crown foil, I'm going to be using okay, after marking our shoulder, you come to your armhole point. What you got on your shoulder, which is 8, I got 8, you just take out ½ inch. So you're going to be 7.5. You join that point to the shoulder, just like this, using your ruler. You join it to your shoulder, then you make your curve, mark your armhole curve. You can use the ridgeline boning, or you can use a free hand. I can use a free hand if I want to. So on the bust, you measure your bust. My bust is 38. 38 is 9.5. I'm just going to be adding 1 inch. I would have added ½ inch, but I want the top to be a free top and I don't want to add a zipper. So I'm going to extend that line to the armhole, just like I'm doing right now. Then next, I'm going to mark my waist. My waist is 33. 33 divided by 4 is 8.5 plus 1 inch. Yeah. So we are just going to join it this way. And next, our hip. My hip, the length is your hip round that you are going to mark. My hip is 42. 42 divided by 4 is 10.5. So that's what I'm marking. 10.5 plus 1 inch. What you're just adding is just 1 inch to every point. So we're going to join it. Still join it with your ruler. Good. So now we are going to go ahead to work on the neckline, on the neck round. So I'm using a neck round width of, it's a round neck actually. So I'm using a neck round width of 3.5, a width of 3.5 for the front, and a depth of 3. I'm going to curve it. You can use your ridgeline boning to curve, just like me. Good. So On the shoulder end, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for my slant, for my shoulder slant, just like this. Yeah. Then on that shoulder width, from my shoulder here, I'm going to come out by 3.5 because it's a continuous sleeve, cap sleeve. I'm going to come out by 3.5, just like this. Measure, mark out 3.5, and then you extend that line, just like this. Then on that point where you have 3.5, you go down by 1.5 again. You go down by 1.5, just like I'm doing. Then you use your ridgeline boning to curve it in this way. Curve it like this. I want you guys to see it clearly. I don't want to be blocking you guys. See what I did? Sorry, my camera is shaking. So I just curved it into that. Then on the chest line, you go up by 2 inch. Then on that 2 inch, you also make a curve, an outward curve, so that use your ridgeline boning to make a curve, so that this is going to relax on your arm. That's why we are making this second curve here. So we are done with working on the neck round and the continuous sleeve. So for the back neck depth, I'm just going to go down by 1.5 or 1 inch. I want it to be a high neck. Let's say, let me go down by 1.5 because I'm not going to be inserting a zipper. So I'm going down by 1.5 or 1 inch. Then also on this, I'm going to be having a slit on the front neck depth, which my depth of my slit neckline will be 7 inch. And on this point here, I'm just going to measure 1/2 inch and then join it with my ruler. I'm going to join it with my ruler like this. Good. Now we are done with the upper part. Next we are going to work on the lower part. Looking at the style, we see that we also have a slit on the lower part, and there's this flare effect on the lower part. So we'll go ahead on the end. By the end of this point, this open end here, we are going to go up by 4 inch. On that 4 inch, where we have that 4 inch, we are going to come out by 2 inch, about 2 inches for that flare effect. Then you join it, you curve it out, you curve this out, you curve it out. So from this point here, you slant it to the end of the blouse. You slant it to the end of the blouse, just like this. You see what we got now? You slant it to the end of the blouse. Then you come to the end here, this center front here, and at the end of the hemline, you come up by 4 inch again. Then you measure 1/2 inch, just like we did in the upper part. Then you make a curve, just like this. You can see, very simple. So right now we are done with cutting out the front and the back. We are going to cut out the back first, and then we'll now use it to cut out. We use the pattern to cut out the back, and then before we now cut out the front panel. So this is a dartless top and a free top. That is why I added 1 inch. So we'll go ahead and cut it out now. So we are cutting out just the back neckline. So I forgot my scissors in the shop, so I'm just managing this one. So guys, we are done cutting this, so we are going to fold our fabric again, then we use it to cut out the back before cutting out the front neckline. Just go ahead, fold it. I would have added a zipper, but I don't want that. I just want it to be a free top, not too tight and then not too free. So for the back panel, our back panel is just going to end around here. It's not going to extend to this part. It's just going to end around here, so we are just going to curve it a bit, just a bit like this, so it doesn't become straight. So go ahead and cut it out. Hope you guys can see it clearly. So the back part, I went up like this. From this end here, that's where I'm rolling it out. That's where it's going to stop. So guys, I'm cutting it out now. So this is what we have for the front panel, guys. Hope you can see. This is what we have for the front panel. I think I'm going to extend this a bit because the slit is kind of too close. Let me extend it just a bit. Because I want it to be very visible. So I'm extending it by 1/2 inch. Just like this. Yes. So that's it. So this is what we have for the front panel. This is what we have for the front panel. And this is for the back panel. So right now we're almost done. What I'm going to do next is to cut a facing on the neckline. I'm going to cut a facing for the neckline, for the both front and back neckline. After turning it out with my facing, after doing that, I'll go ahead and also turn this bottom line with a facing too. After that, I'll just use 1/2 inch to join it, to join both the back and the front. Then I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. So guys, this is what I got after I must have shaped it. I used 1 inch to shape it on both sides. That 1 inch that I added, I actually removed it completely. I use it to shape it. This is my neck round and this is the hemline. So this is what I got. So I'm going to go ahead now I'm going to go ahead now. So when I'm done, I'll come back and show you guys what it looks like. So guys, this is it. I later removed 1 inch from that flay because I noticed it was kind of too much, so I kind of reduced it by 1 inch. That's the flay. So this is what I got in the end. Hope you guys liked it. Just follow the way I cut it, and I'm sure you're going to get exactly the same thing. So if you have been watching me to this point, please like, subscribe, and then turn on the notification bell for more interesting videos. Bye. See you guys in my next video. Bye.